Alright guys, today we are finally installing the oil cooler.
What the fuck you mean, mate?
Man, why am I talking like that? Alright guys, today we are finally installing the oil cooler on the NA Crossfire. It's a whole custom setup. I got everything here that you need. I'm going to put a link in the description of where I got all the parts. But in this video we're going to show you exactly how we do it. So, let's do this. The first thing we have here is the oil cooler. It's from CX Racing, got it on eBay. It's small, but I mean that's all I really need, so whatever. Alright, so the next thing are the fittings that go onto the oil cooler itself. I can't remember what AN fitting this is, but in the description I will put it, and then it goes to a 3/8 bar fitting, so those will be in the description, and that's what I'm using for this oil cooler. Alright, so this is the Hayden thermostat. It works like a This is what turns it on when it actually needs to run, when it starts getting hot.
This is awful.
It's just because there's a
I know.
crowd of people. So this is, dude, I don't.
What are those?
This is it. This is the one. Oh, you can't smile. It's not even funny. There's nothing to laugh at. This is the Hayden thermostat. When this hits operating temperatures, this is what flows. What? This is the Hayden thermostat. When the oil reaches its optimum temperature level, this opens up and it flows to the cooler. So these are the two different fittings I'm going to be using. This is an M12 by 1.5, and this is going to be going into the oil pressure test port. And this is an M10 by 1, which is going into the oil pan. Why am I using two different ones? Because I originally thought the oil pressure test port was an M10, and I bought a tap for it. But I ended up finding out it was an M12 by 1.5. So that is why there's two. You can use the M12 to go into the oil pan, but that's what I have, so there you go. Here's the M10 tap, which is going to be going into the oil pan, so that's what we got. This is the 3/8 hose we're going to be using, and then obviously you got your clamps right here, which you need 8 of these. I only have 4 right now, but Sam, you were going to help me out with that later. And then the final thing is you got to take your oil pan out to do this, so you need some RTV to put it back on. So got that. But let's get started, because what we're going to do is we're actually going to be changing the oil while we're at it. So we're going to drain all the oil out and then take the oil pan off, and that's when we're going to start doing our tapping, and then go on from there. Alright, so we're draining the oil right now. It's going to take a hot second to let it drain, and then right after we drain it, we're going to take this oil pan off and we're going to tap right there for that little M10. So yeah, now we just got to wait for it to drain. Alright, so down here guys, you got this little mechanism thing right here, this little oil pressure test port, which is this thing is right here, and that's what we're going for. So what I did, because I didn't have that much room, I popped this part off first, and then you got to pop this thing off right here, and this is where your M12 by 1.5 fitting is going to go. The only problem is we have this stuck right now. It's not actually really it's a problem for us, but we don't need this anymore because that fitting is going to go there. But it's easier to take that out and put your fitting in there. And also for adequate oil flow, you want to punch a little hole in this rubber seal that's in here. Just a small little hole so there's adequate oil flow coming through it. So I'm using this is not a punch, but this is what I'm using to make a little hole in that little rubber gasket thing in there, just for the adequate oil flow. Alright guys, so I pulled that little rubber piece out that I was talking about. The two holes that are on the side, sorry for the autofocus, but were already there, but I made the little hole in the middle just so there's more adequate oil flow. So let's hook this back in and get our fittings on there. Alright guys, there it is, the M12 by 1.5 fitting in the oil pressure test port. So now we can move on to taking our oil pan off and tapping into it for the M10 by 1. Alright, now we are tapping to the oil pan. We finally got this off. Quite a few bolts, but it came off pretty easily, so let's make our hole and then we will tap into it. Yeah. Other one. BFB. If you want to do this, you will die. Wait. I'm so confused, dude. Oh. No! What is happening?
Is it that up there?
Yes. Thank you.
What?
So it wasn't this one. This is a lie. I know you guys will both know what this is from. Ready? What was not clear? I told you not to tell her. I told you not to let her work here. What was not clear about that, Andy?
California.
He was not clear about it whatsoever.
He made it.
So good.
I was so
The way
confused.
Robert was acting is just so funny.
Hey, you guys want to see a broken car? Boom. There it is. There's the place where we tapped into the oil pan for the hose. Oh, and now it doesn't want to. Okay.
Get back. Or when I get back.
Do a burnout. What? I think sounds good.
Alright guys, so right now we're letting the RTV sit on the oil pan so it all sticks up. We got everything tapped in and we have the oil cooler mounted. We just gotta bolt it down. We got the Hayden thermostat sitting right there and we're running the hoses right now, which I'm not gonna explain how that part goes. You just gotta read it yourself because it is confusing unless you see it yourself in person. There is a little guide to the thermostat of how it goes from your different ports to the cooler to the thermostat and all that, so.
And depending on which way you have the thermostat oriented, it's gonna be different.
Yeah. So, we finally got it done. So, in all, had to tap off the oil pressure test port, come down to the Hayden thermostat, which is right down here, to the oil cooler, and then the oil cooler down to the oil pan. Which, like I said, there's instructions to the thermostat on where everything goes and is located. So if you do that, I would take a look at that very carefully before you install everything. But let's put the battery on and start it up. And let me stop you right there, boys. So, oh my gosh, this was the most annoying thing ever. Okay, listen, the oil cooler on the NA Crossfires, it is definitely worth it, but you just gotta take some precaution while going about it because I made a couple of mistakes while doing it. I messed up once doing the tapping into the oil pan, and that was just catastrophic. I was so upset, and oil just was leaking, and it was whatever. So I fixed it the second go. I put a zip tie on the fitting that was going into the oil pressure test port, not a clamp, a zip tie, because I didn't have a clamp. So I was like, the zip tie will work for now. No. Right when I gassed it when I was test driving it, boom! The oil hose shot off the fitting that was at the oil pressure test port, and I couldn't believe how much oil was everywhere. But simple green dip, the inside of the engine bay looks brand new, everything's all good. So I got it all hooked up, and it's running good now. I just recommend to be very cautious on how you go about doing it. And I mean, like I said, it's awesome, it's worth it. I got all the parts in the description below of everything that I have, but remember you can do different oil coolers, different fittings and all that. As long as you put an M12 by 1.5 in the oil pressure test port, you're good to go. Other than that, you can do whatever you want. You can even run the oil cooler without the oil temperature thermostat thing. You don't have to use that. I mean, I recommend it. All in all, I'm gonna go around and show where everything's like connected and all that, so you can just kind of see the final result. And yeah, that is how you do an oil cooler on the Crossfire. So, yo, come play Jordan. Let's do it. Oh, this car can be annoying sometimes. Gonna make this short and sweet. There is the line going from the oil pressure test port and the engine bay. You can see it going right there. Let's get it focused. There you go. There's the oil thermostat, and you can, when you get one of those, you can just look on the directions on how it all lines up, or on how all the hoses go to it. Or, sorry if I sound not enthusiastic right now, I'm just really annoyed. Here's the oil cooler. Oh, yeah, look at that. Oil cooler's a little leaky because it's a piece of crap. Definitely don't buy cheap oil coolers. Everything else is good, but the oil cooler is cheap, so whatever. And there is the fitting tapped into the oil pan, coming from the oil thermostat as well. So yeah, that is how it's hooked up. Yeah, this car's annoying. Also, my oil cooler caused a check engine light just because the car isn't recognizing that thermostat in there in the cooler. So I recommend getting a tune with it. I feel like it will work better having a tune with it. But yeah, don't buy cheap oil coolers. I mean, that one's not bad, but it's leaking because it's cheap. You know what I mean? So just, it's worth it, but just make sure you do it correctly. Don't mess up like me and buy the correct part. So yeah. Also, big shout out to Danny Carlson, because he is the one that gave me all the information and showed me exactly how to install an oil cooler on the NA Crossfire. You are the man, Danny. You have an amazing Crossfire. Thank you so much. I wish I did it better and more perfect, like how your setup is. Your setup is amazing. Mine's a little bunk, but it's all good, man. All right, guys, I have a really sad announcement about the Crossfire. The Crossfire is what helped build this channel up to over 1,000 subscribers. It's been a great time doing mods for it, all this different custom stuff, showing you guys how to do different things, since it's really opened up the Crossfire community, I feel like, and I've enjoyed it so much, and I love this car to death. But I don't know if you guys follow us on Instagram, which you should be, and Facebook and Twitter, but we put updates on there of what's going on with our lives and all of our cars and all that. And my daily driver, my Audi A4, which I have that all-wheel drive for the Michigan winters, beautiful. It completely like blew up. It blew up, but I have to fix it. I don't have a choice because I still have a loan out on the car, and I have no other way for paying for these repairs unless I sell the Crossfire. I know, huge bummer. It's hurting me so much, and I know it's probably hurting some of you guys that really love watching the Crossfire videos. I don't have a choice. I can't take another personal loan out to rebuild the motor because it's too much, and it's gonna put me way more in debt, and I just don't have the money to do that right now. It's seriously a big bummer. It's, like I said, it's killing me on the inside. Just talking about it and thinking about it, but I have to do it. And honestly, I'm gonna get another Crossfire one day. I promise I will, and I'm gonna go and do some crazy stuff to it. I don't know what it's good. Maybe it'll be more of a street build than a track build, but I love the Crossfire that I have. It's a track build. It's been so much fun. We've all enjoyed it, and I know a lot of you guys have too. So we'll put the link in the description of where it's for sale at, but I'll also be putting it on the forums and the Crossfire market on Facebook and all that. And we'll definitely make a post on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter. Again, guys, I am truly sorry that we have to see the Crossfire go, but I don't have the money, and it's a bummer. It really is. So I truly apologize. But we'll have a couple more videos on the Crossfire before it goes. So don't you worry. But I promise we are going to make the Audi awesome. We're going to do a lot of different videos on it, do some modifications to it. And like I said, gonna get a Crossfire again in the future one day. You will see. And anyways, guys, I'm young, and there's still other cars I would like to build too. And I got a couple in mind once I start saving up a little more money that I wanna put on the channel and build, and I think it'd be awesome. And all I can say is I'm really looking into the JDM cars, classic JDM cars, so we'll see what we're gonna go with. So anyways, guys, take it easy. Thank you for watching, and we will see you in the next video. Smack, you're not Norotin.